I love Kelsey Grammer, but unfortunately, that's just not enough to save Christmas in Paradise. This was released in 2022, and we have the same characters from the film Father Christmas is Back. And I honestly don't remember what I thought about that film, which kind of suggests it's not very memorable, but I don't remember it being as bad as this. This is not a good film. Some of the characters are not likable. I genuinely don't remember if I didn't like those characters in the other film, but in this film, I did not like two of them. And as much as I love Kelsey Grammer and as much as I love watching him perform, it just wasn't enough. James Christmas's three daughters, Joanna, Caroline, and Paulina, decide to chase after him to this Caribbean island where James is spending a vacation because he's going through a difficult patch romantically and he needed headspace and time to be alone. And his daughters thought, okay, let's go after him. Why? So I don't understand what their point was. I think they had a very selfish attitude because if their father just wants that time to be alone and to reflect or whatever, surely they should accept that and appreciate that. But instead, they thought, no, we'll do what we want. That being said, he did like that his daughters were there eventually and, rekindling that relationship and spending time with them. Unfortunately, as a viewer, I didn't love spending time with them because two of them are really unlikable. Nothing against the performances, but two of the characters, Joanna and Caroline, I just hated. Really hated them. As I said, don't remember how I felt about them in the previous film. It is a very unmemorable film. I remember tiny bits and pieces of it, but not a lot. But Paulina was actually okay. She was the most interesting of the three daughters. You also have Billy Ray Cyrus playing a character called Jimmy Love. I'm not. I was going to say I'm not a fan of Billy Ray Cyrus. What I mean by that is I'm indifferent to his career. His career is not one I followed, but I did actually like the character in this. I thought he was a pretty decent character, clutching at straws, trying to find benefits. He's not a bad character. The film tried to be emotional. We tried to have some development for James Christmas's character. There's something with his health that I won't go into too much detail about, just on the off chance you decide to watch this film. But they tried to make it emotional, and it wasn't. I didn't shed a single tear, and I cry at the drop of a hat when we have, emotional things in films. And it didn't make me feel anything. Maybe it's because by that point, I was just so fed up with how boring everything was and how unlikable some of the characters were. Also, if you're looking for a Christmas film, at least in terms of a traditional Christmas film, obviously this isn't it, it's set on a Caribbean island, but even then, I feel like this could have been set at any time of the year. And it's definitely not one that's going to put you in the festive mood, but it doesn't even have that not very festive but heartwarming feel. There are some Christmas films that may not be very traditionally festive, but they look at the true spirit of Christmas and the heartwarming quality of bringing people together and doing good for other people. None of that. None of that in this at all. So it's definitely not giving out anything positive, really. Yes, I liked watching Kelsey Grammer perform. Yes, the location was quite beautiful. According to IMDb, it's filmed in a place called St. Kitts and Nevis or Nevis. That's not a place I've heard of personally, but it looked quite nice. So I credit where I have to find credit to try and be a little bit positive. The location looked nice. I do like watching Kelsey Grammer perform. As I said, nothing against any of the acting, even though I hated Joanna and Caroline. We did have some pretty okay performances from Elizabeth Hurley and Nathalie Cox. We also have Naomi Frederick as Paulina, and as I said, Paulina was a relatively interesting character. I don't remember how I felt about the characters in the previous film, but I think I'm going to have to go back and watch or listen to my review just to find out. If you've seen the previous film, I wouldn't recommend this. If you haven't seen the previous film, I wouldn't recommend this. However, if you've seen this but haven't seen the previous film, I guess I would recommend the other one. I'm not sure. As I said, I don't remember it being quite as bad as this. I love Kelsey Grammer, but it just wasn't enough to make Christmas in Paradise bearable.